Oh, right. Howdy, howdy. Welcome back to Wildspace, presented by GGameKnights. I am Ryan. These are other people, and we are going to be playing a game today. Hey, no. Sorry. Okay. So first off, hi. How you doing? We got a lot of new, cool-looking stuff around here. I don't know if you noticed or not. Got a new little overlay. We've got lots of new screens. My dog is growling at I'm not even sure what in the corner. We're going to be figuring out how to stay on frame for the most part. So that'll be fun. I'm going to start going through some announcements real quick. First off, want to announce that we have a winner for our dice giveaway because we reached our follower goals. And I rolled a few minutes ago, and I figured it out. Now I just gotta find what that result was. Okay, so the winner of the Dice Giveaway Challenge 2017, straddling into 2018, is at blue_Dale on Twitter, and on Twitch it's Dale Weaver _Twitch. So congratulations, you're gonna get some dice. I'm sure we'll DM you with deets on how to get that to you. But awesome, they're very cool dice, and I'm glad that you, more than those other people, get them. So thank you so much for entering, and we'll probably have more of those at some point.
So proud of you, Dale.
You did it, Dale.
Your father and I are so proud.
Hey.
Wow, Cooper.
Sorry. I'll pick him up in a second. All right. So first off, I'm going to announce that on Wednesday we probably will be having a Wednesday Lynn's Day, starring Lynn Spector, who's running through Dragon Age Linquisition, and that's going to be happening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I was reading the wrong line. And then on Saturday, we're going to be having another episode of Survivors Complex at 5:30 Eastern Time. That's every week. Both of those shows are every week, and they are fantastic. Check them out. And also, do we have, other than the reveal, do we have any other announcements that I need to go over? Well, next week we're starting a brand new campaign, Apocrypha, on Tuesday. That's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to run opposite weeks of Wildspace. So this week you got a Monday, next week you'll have Tuesday, and then back to Wildspace Monday, and so on. Hey. He's so excited about Apocrypha. He can't contain himself.
He's a big fan.
So yeah, that's an Apocalypse World game. So it's going to be super, super cool.
We do have one more set of dice to give away.
Oh, we do? Okay. When is details available on our Twitter?
They are on our Twitter. The only goal that we're still trying to meet is our YouTube subscriber goal, which we're getting close to. So once we hit our YouTube subscriber goal, we'll give away a third set of dice, which is almost as cool as the ones that Dale won today.
Yeah. You can't beat Dale. They can't beat you.
They're super cool, so subscribe to our YouTube.
Yep. Okay, so we have a special little reveal. If you want to show the little teaser screen, we got ourselves a visionary who is on Twitter at Alexiel April. That is... you'll see that down in the credits on our Twitch page. You can see her Twitter handle. But this is the art, and so let's go ahead and reveal and remove the veil of shadows.
Drum roll, please.
Started doing jazz fingers, and I realize they can't see us right now.
Ta-da!
And there it is.
It's so amazing!
Pretty.
Look at them. Look at us.
All right. So I think actually this would be... I wasn't planning on doing this, but let's go ahead and let's introduce characters. So you guys have something to look at while we describe who these people are. So let's start with Rachel Setyon on the far left.
Hi. Or are we doing this in character? Or are we doing?
I am not going to put that on you.
Oh,
you don't
God.
have to do that. You can just like describe who they
I'm
are.
having a panic attack. Yeah, Rosh is a fire genasi light cleric. Looks just like they do on the screen there, including awesome spear and fire hair. I really can't even do a better description than what you see on the screen. But yeah, that is Rosh.
And I gotta unmute. And all right, so that'll bring us to Gwendolyn of the Tranquil Mind.
That's me. That is Gwendolyn of the Tranquil Mind. Gwen, to her friends, standing there next to Rosh. Gwen is a high elven blood hunter. And as you know by now, you can see now her little pendant in the art, which I love. It is in the shape of a wolf's head. She is an Order of the Lycan blood hunter. And she's got a cool sword. And a cool crossbow, and pointy ears, and is generally amazing.
She sure is.
Look at her ears, though.
So who's that? Who's that holding up the middle?
Who that little guy?
Who that little guy?
Who that little guy over there? No, I feel this is gonna be hard to follow Gwen's awesome intro there, but it's Bolster Valentine is my name. I'm a mouse folk artificer. I build stuff. I got my little robot beside me. His name is Samathes, and we fly around the galaxy doing cool stuff and building cool things. Currently, Bolster is being chased by a giant hyper corporation called Ocelot because he escaped from a planet where he was practically enslaved. So there is more to come in that story, I'm sure. But yeah, that's Bolster.
Nope, it's done. Okay, so next on the list, we've got Vincent.
Yep, that's Vincent. He's a wild magic sorcerer, Azamar. Asimar, I forget if it's a S or a Z. I'm going to say it either way.
It's the way that I don't pronounce it. I know that for a fact.
So it's Alaric. Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a reference no one else is gonna get. But yeah, so because he's an Azamar and is completely grayscale, he tends to wear bright, flashy clothes. Hence the very fancy red, bright colors there.
Red velvet.
All right, fantastic. And finally, bringing up the right flank, it's Pace.
Hey. So I play Pace. She is a feral tiefling Beastmaster Ranger. She's very tall, very strong, very awesome. She tends to kill things and wear them. That's why she's dressed the way she is. She was dead for a while, but she got better. And that dino over her shoulder is Captain, and he's her companion.
Excellent. Well, we can come back to faces. We're so thrilled with the art. Alexiel April did an incredible job.
Well done, Alexiel.
I will likely commission more very soon. She was great to work with. So if you need any, if you have any questions about that process, just tweet me specifically and I can talk to you about that. But that was great. But we are here for another purpose. We're here to slip into our little mind palaces where we can travel the stars.
That's it.
All right.
That's what we're here to do.
Welcome back to Wildspace. Let's engage and slip out of warp speed and settle in to where we last left off. Can someone please tell me, what did y'all get up to?
Gwen?
I made a friend who is a little goo monster, but turned out to be an awesome, awesome friend that has given me some super fun little bio armor, protection, and powers. And his name is Friend, and he eats a lot. And he's slurped to my body now. But he's friendly. Don't worry about it. That's what I did.
Cool.
Is that all you did?
Me and Vincent also went on an adventure to the store. I think it was Vincent. Yeah, it was me and Vincent. We went on an adventure to get some rations from the store, which was really, really fun. And we met this nice frog man who was very fancy and invited us to a fancy dinner party, which Pace really did not want to go to. And turns out she was right, because it was a terrible party, and the frogman tried to kill us all with zombies.
And the food wasn't even that good.
And the
It
food
wasn't.
wasn't even that good. What little of it we got to eat, it was mostly vegetables,
Boo.
which again, Pace was right. And then Frogman and his zombie servants tried to kill us, and we blew up his fancy apartment.
Vincent tried to kill him.
And then Vincent tried to kill us. It was okay. And so some of us are pretty injured, but we're currently all alive and trying to figure out how we're going to explain that we killed Fancy Frogman and a bunch of zombies and blew up a fancy suite in the middle of a city. I feel like that covers it.
I think that does.
Yeah. Okay. So, speaking of, all right, so yeah, just to paint this picture just real quick. You all are in a fancy suite apartment building that is, among other things, on fire. There is
sound effects.
there is a fire raging in the center of the dining room where the table once was. It is not quickly spreading because the floors and walls are made of this kind of metal composite, and it's but the rugs and furniture are catching light. There's also the wall that there was a large wall windowed area that overlooked a great portion of the Yuval way station. That is now a gaping hole, and wind is kind of rushing in and feeding the flames further. There's the sound of glass tinkling. There's you hear shouts and screams from adjacent rooms, and in the distance, or actually not that far in the distance, in the hallway, you begin to hear alarms beginning to go off. So there are, I'm gonna turn that down because that might be too much anxiety for me. All right. So also, while you're staying in this room, you notice that there are a few doors that are shut. There's about 3 to your left side, and actually they're all on the left side. That is the way that this suite is situated. You came in, and then it kind of opens up to the left. So, what do you want to do?
I would like to cast Cure Wounds on Captain.
Oh yeah, Captain is a birdie. But yes.
Okay, so I think it's just 1d8
Yep.
plus my spellcasting modifier, which is
Sure.
wisdom. I don't have the clicky thing anymore, so I'm just gonna roll it like a polite. Plus wisdom, which is 3.
I might drop that even further and still give me anxiety.
Oh well, minimum health. Great, but he's no longer unconscious, and that's what counts.
What sound does he make when he comes back to consciousness?
Little chirpy whistles, probably. Just like little snuffs. I can't do it, but imagine
Okay.
it with your brain.
Okay, imagine it with my brain.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start with, I don't know. Let's start with Rosh. Rosh, what do you want to do at this moment?
Make sure I'm not muted. I look around. But does anyone know how to put out fire? I'm not very good at that.
Yes. Oh, it's so good.
We should also make sure that nobody in the immediate area is in any danger. Maybe we should try to evacuate the building.
That is a good idea. I basically pick up Captain, and then I'm just gonna send him out the broken window and be like, I'll catch up with you later, buddy. I love you.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
He begins to flap away. As he kind of glides down, he kind of finds that too far away from the building, the artificial atmosphere begins to kind of dissipate, and he kind of loses his grace for a little bit, but he pulls back in, and then kind of as he quickly figures out what his new boundaries are, and kind of just keeps a tight corkscrew circle going down.
Okay.
It would have sucked if he was just sucked into the vacuum space.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Well, I definitely forgot how this place we were at worked. So
yeah. So basically, the way that this looks, I'm trying to think of in a weird way, it almost looks like a sea urchin, in that there's this kind of like center area, and there's these spires that stick out from it in all these different directions. This is a very tall building. It's 37 stories tall, at least, and it's so. But it's like kind of isolated in this column, and so that's kind of what you're looking at.
Okay, I may have made a mistake, but I did it already.
Okay.
I don't know how to put fire out. I mean, I have a water skin at the lamp.
Well, with Vincent has prestidigitation, which per action you can instantly light or snuff out a candle, a torch, or a small campfire. So it can take it out 6 seconds at a time in small campfire-sized portions.
Okay. Or is that what you're gonna do?
After dropping radiant consumption, so I'm no longer killing everyone.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. So, you start removing. I can't. Every 6 seconds, a fire roughly like at the dining room table, which was 12 chairs. You kind of get rid of 1 chair's worth of flame every 6 seconds, roughly. So, and because like the fire is like not having trouble spreading, that you probably will catch up to it at some point. It's just going to take some time. Gwen, what are you doing?
I'm still stressed about his mentioning of one of my sisters, Eleanor, and so I start sort of trying to stay calm but bleeding out, kicking down doors in the rest of the suite, just looking for anything out of place or that looks familiar to me.
Okay.
Because I know I keep trophies, and I'm sort of afraid that he killed her. So.
Okay. So you have 3 doors to choose from. Do you, roll me an intelligence check.
11.
Yeah, that's actually enough, because you can. One of the doors is what the fully the leather-clad zombies came out of when they were serving the food, and you can kind of guess that's probably the kitchen. So you know that one room is probably the kitchen, and you know the other 2 rooms are, you don't know what they are. So
I pick one that I think might be like his room.
okay. All right. So let's just flip a coin here. Okay.
2 on a D2.
All right. So you kick down the center door, and the. Okay. All right. So. Jess. Wait. I forgot to describe something earlier. Do you guys mind if I rewind time a little bit? Please. Okay. So after Rosh lands the killing blow on Burgleplump, the body kind of slumps against the wall, and after a few moments, a dark clawed hand bursts out of Burgleplump's chest and begins to wrap around his the rest of his body, and then with a kind of a sharp cacophony of like hissing, crackling heat, and something that almost sounds like screams, Burgleplump's headless body is pulled into a point of space that snaps shut in a loud pop and sends out a concussive blast that kind of pushes you all back a pace. As that happens, Burgleplump's strange robe kind of falls onto the floor in a heap, and if you recall, it had this kind of eye pattern on it. Who was holding him? Not Gwen. It was Pace, right? You were grappling him at the time. As of falls to your feet, you notice like all the eyes shift and look at you. And at the same time, you also hear kind of this rattling sound of a chain and a clunk as something hard hits the floor. Okay, now we can. Sorry.
Can I
That
turn
might
it?
have changed what I did.
Okay, sorry.
We can go
Go ahead,
back to that.
Sorry.
I might have focused a little bit more on that. I want to finish Gwen's turn before I do anything. Oh.
Okay.
I kicked down a door.
Okay, boom. All right, you kick down a door, and okay. So you open up into this large room. You see lots of dark stains on the floor. The lighting here is terrible. The flames kind of behind you, sending up these coming off your back, and you're casting like this like shadow into the room, and like it's like sending flickers off the wall. Roll me a perception check as I continue to describe some things. You see what looks like kind of stacks of books on tables on either side, and towards the back of the room, you think you catch a glint of something metallic, in like rows of metallic, and the walls themselves. Do you have dark vision?
Yes.
I think you do. Okay. The walls appear to be moving. And, yep. Okay.
I rolled a 14. Does that change anything?
Let's see. 14.
The walls stopped moving.
Oh,
All right.
jeez.
So you kind of, yeah. Okay, yeah, you will notice this. You take a closer peek at the walls, and what you see, and you're also hearing this, like even above the sound of the burning fire behind you, you hear rattling chains, and you see some like these shapes flailing in the darkness, and you realize it's almost like a net of chains that is like strapped to the floor and to the ceiling, and behind it is just a big heap of clump of zombies that are all kind of in there, kind of reaching out between the holes in the chains, and just kind of pushing up against each other. Just two big old chain nets full of zombos on the left and right side, but doesn't appear to be on the back wall. That you see back wall what looks more like crates or something, barred crates.
Ah.
Oh my. Rosh?
I'm still staring at the spot where Toad Guy disappeared.
Okay. Smells bad.
Yes.
Will you come in here, please?
Is it worse than what we just saw out here?
Much.
Coming. And I'll go in here and see what she's saying.
Okay. Do you do anything? Do you light up the room? Do you take a step in?
Well, yeah. If she's at the edge and it's dark, I'd like to cast light and try to illuminate the dark.
Upon what?
Just my staff. Or
Okay.
my spear.
We're gonna regret this.
Okay. So you cast light, and it's 30 feet, right?
I think
light.
so. 20 foot.
20
20
foot bright, but
bright
40. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see with the dim light from here, you can see that the walls are just a tangle of zombies on either side, chained up, and they're gnashing and gnawing, and milky white eyes rolling towards you. And you also see, you see what Gwen saw earlier at the back wall, but now with the aid of light, Gwen is able to see a little bit further into the room and see a little bit more clearly, and she sees a number of cages against the back wall. that appear to be occupado.
Well, I want to go over there.
Okay. All right.
I'd like to just, before she walks in, can I just scan to make sure there's no like glyph work or any? This looks like necromancy. I'm assuming. I mean,
Sure.
Make that assumption.
I'm gonna ask for a general investigation check.
Sure.
Unless you're not proficient. I mean, I'll take your.
I'm proficient in Arcana. I'm not proficient in investigation though.
Okay, so we'll look specifically for magic runes and stuff, or like what looks like something like that. So go ahead and.
That's 20.
Okay. Well, there sure is a lot of necromancy happening here. You look checking the floors and for seeing if I'm assuming you're looking for traps.
Yeah. Explosions or life sucking or zombie traps.
You don't see anything in the any glyphs. You don't see any magic symbols. You at least in the floor itself, you kind of like scanning over the books, looking for something, and so you get a real bad vibe from the books. Some more than others, one more than others particularly. But the floor itself, you don't see anything. But with that roll, I'm gonna say that you do notice that one of the tiles in the floor, they're kind of large tiles, maybe like 2 by 2 throughout the room. One seems to be of a slightly different color than the rest. It's almost as if it just hasn't seen the wear and tear that the rest of the room has.
Okay. I'm just gonna, Gwen, I just point that out to you and I say, be careful in here. Don't step there. It looks like somebody's been avoiding that spot. And don't touch any of the books. Or the zombies.
Well,
don't touch anything. Please.
I wasn't going to touch the zombies, but thank you. Should we not take the books?
I was thinking we should destroy them.
Take them out to the others.
All right.
I go for the cages.
Okay, you go for the cages. All right, before you come back in, I'm going to go to Bolster particularly. You haven't done anything this game yet. So what are you doing?
Yeah, I think Bolster's peeling himself up off the ground right now. He's like, how fiery is it in there?
It's pretty fiery, but it's not that. I think you mean smoky, right? Like because of the big gaping hole in the wall, the smoke is billowing out kind of quickly. But it's smoky for sure. But you being only 2 feet tall, you're not really actually getting much of it at all. You specifically aren't really affected by it yet, because most of it's higher in the room.
So I think Bolster
Pace is getting it actually the worst.
I was gonna say, yeah. So I think Bolster's he kind of peels himself up off the floor. He's got like this hacking cough, and he's like, he pulls himself up onto Samathes, and he says, Pace, we gotta get out of here. I mean, the police are probably gonna be coming. We can't get caught up in this. We gotta get out. We gotta get everyone. We gotta go. And I climb into Samathes, and the cockpit kind of comes up like Buzz Lightyear, kind of, and it closes to keep the smoke out. And I think I'm gonna right before I leave, I just kind of look around the room to see if there's anything worth taking or if Pace needs help.
Okay. All right. I need to kind of. I'm gonna go around the room a little bit just because I feel like I need to figure out what order all this takes place in. So sure. I'm gonna go to Vincent. What do you do? Like, are you still putting out fires, or did the retcon thing change anything?
No, probably still putting out fires. Other than if we all notice the eyes on the cloak turning to look at Pace.
And if you're looking at the cloak as well, like many of the eyes are looking at you.
Okay, so they're
Two.
not all on Pace.
No.
Okay. Then I'll just say, leave that cloak for now. I'm gonna work on the fire, but y'all should probably run along.
All right, Pace, what do you want to do?
Is there an inside to this cloak? Like, so the pattern's only on the outside, so that like the inside's blank.
Inside
thing?
is, yep, the inside is, it does not have eyes on it.
Great. Yeah. Hey, leave it alone. I'm gonna look at it. I'd like to poke it on the inside with my shoe.
Okay.
And, like, push it on the ground, like what people do when they're like, "Did you turn into a like? Where'd you go?" Like, I'm gonna do that to the cloak.
Okay. So you kind of push it, it just shifts, and the eyes continue to twitch in their fabric sockets, unblinking. No lids, just kind of eyes turning, rolling, looking at you, through you, at Vincent, at Bolster, at the people going in the room. Just constantly shifting and moving.
I imagine I was probably doing that as Vincent was like, probably leave the cloak for now. So like I poke it and I look at him.
I love it.
And then probably Bolster says what he says. Yeah, you're probably right. Are you guys okay in there? To Gwen and Rush.
Okay, yeah, let's go back to Rush and Gwen.
Because then I'm gonna go save the neighbors, if they're okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's go, Gwen. I think it's your, or Rush, are you gonna start? What are you doing?
I'm keeping an eye on Gwen while she's in there, and then when she goes to leave, I'll take the books.
Okay. All right, Gwen, you go to the back of the room, and inside, there's 4 cages in the back. 1 is empty. 2 have what are clearly zombies that are pressed against the bars and reaching out at you. And there is a 4th where there is a small figure pressed against the back of the cage, looking up at you, a halfling form, head roughly shaved, looks real rough and beaten up, just kind of looking at you in fear.
Hello?
They're just looking at you in fear. Just can't.
Do they don't
Then,
look
yeah,
zombified?
They don't look zombified. And as you kind of go close, did you ever meet Eleanor? Ever?
Probably, like, a couple of times.
Okay, well, it takes you a long time to recognize her because she used to have this, not hair like yours. She used to have long red hair, and it's all been sheared off. Her skin is pale. She looks sick. She looks unwell, somewhat emaciated. She's got deep circles under her eyes, and I think after several moments, she seems to recognize you, and she very fearfully, crawls a little bit forward in the cage towards you, but is not speaking or making any words.
I say, back up. We're getting you out of here. And I start trying to just, like, wrench the door.
Okay, give me
Off.
a strength check with advantage, because
Ooh. I'm good at these now. Well,
because it's your friend.
I'm better at them now.
Nice.
17?
Yeah, it doesn't come all the way off, but you managed to kind of snap the bar that was in there. It wasn't or bend the bar rather, and kind of get it open, and a little bit easily. I think, probably you won't think about that for right now, but like it comes off a little bit easier than like you would have expected a super secure cage, but maybe you figure like I don't know, most of the people in this room are zombies and they don't really know how to like work with these things, so maybe that's not how the security was built, but you can think about that later. And Eleanor just kind of looks up at you with a pale expression, eyes kind of wide and looking around the room, fearfully, not really unable to communicate.
I say, I'm gonna keep you safe. You have to trust me. I pick her up because she's little, and I start booking it out of the room, saying, "We have to go now."
Okay. Gwen leaves the room. Rosh, you start gathering books.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you making any choices as you go through? What do you put? How are you carrying them? What are you putting them in? What's your plan here?
I have a backpack, presumably that I keep all my equipment came with a backpack, so I'm assuming I have that on me. So I'm gonna I'm taking how many books am I looking at? Is this like more than I could carry in a? Is this like a shelf full of books?
There's it's not dozens and dozens of books, but
I noticed one was more kind of stood out to me more than the others.
Yeah, one had with your Arcana check had a supremely evil vibe to it.
Okay. I'm gonna take just any sort of fabric I might have on me, an extra robe or a shirt or something like that I might have tucked in my bag, throwing that over the book, wrapping it up, stuffing it in my bag.
Okay.
And
right.
I'm going to do all these other books look like they're like necromancy related or kind of related to this?
There's a variety of different topics. Some of them seem to be about certain old occults, certain old practices. Some are just history books, obscure planets of like some about cryptography. I think that's cryptology. I don't know. Anyway, there's cryptozoology. There's like a lot of very niche stuff there.
I guess what I'm trying to decide is if this is anything that I would see there being any worth in that wasn't just innately negative, like necromancy or just this kind of.
Not all of it is innately negative. Not all. Some of it seems. One of them seems particularly kind of innocuous, where it's just it's talking about the patterns of where star systems are in relation to each other, and it's kind of like it's like a sort of a physics book in a way. It seems like that anyway.
Well, I'll grab the one that I've got. I might grab the one on the cults and maybe kind of get an idea of who this person is and what's going on here and the history books that they're looking at.
Okay.
And if I'm not seeing any others that are just really bad, I'm just going to leave the books.
Okay.
You know, somebody needs to investigate this.
Okay.
I'll just leave those.
All right. And Bolster, as you're in Samathi's, probably close to the window, you begin to see distant lights begin to flare up in the dark of space as you see what looks like small people, maybe gnomes, maybe dwarves, on firefighter mechs that are floating on their way up to the 37th floor. They've got these like hydro cannons on the side, and they kind of formation goes up. You don't see any law enforcement vehicles quite yet. It seems that the fire brigade is a first responder here. But you can assume that the authorities won't be far behind. Yeah.
Okay.
Does anyone want to grab anything else from the room? No one wants to get any to-go food?
Ew, no. So I'm gonna shimmy my bow under the cloak, like the curve side, and then just kind of do like a loop-de-loop thing. So I'm holding it with the bow, not touching it at all.
Okay. All right, and as you do that, you hear another kind of like shifting of metal and a clunk as something falls onto the floor again, and you see an amber stone in kind of an like ovular or oval like. Is it ovular for
Oblong.
Yeah.
oblong? Thank you, oblong, like a kind of oblong setting that has like a of tarnished silver. It hangs from a kind of a thin chain, and on the face you kind of see an image etched in it that looks kind of like a very what is the word I'm looking for? It's a symbol of like a closed eye underneath some arcane symbols you don't recognize.
So he said it's on a chain, or it's like in a setting like a brooch, or.
Yeah, it's like on a chain, like an amulet or something like that.
With my prosthetic arm, I'm gonna pick it up by the chain and go, there's also, Vincent, there's also a necklace, but I'm going, and then I'm leaving.
Okay.
It's very smoky.
Vincent, you've managed to put out a fire of half the table by this point, I think. And enough to where you can feel good that this fire's not going to spread further because it's kind of run out of fuel at this point. You've kind of, as you've been extinguishing flame, kind of kicking the wood and stuff away so it doesn't relight or anything. And pretty soon you starve the fire of most of the things that it can burn. So it's been about, I'd say, 2-3 minutes. What's next?
It seems like everyone else is rushing out. I'm not sure if Rosh has made it out at this point, so Vincent will go and help them with whatever's keeping them up, because the other half of the party is already pieced out.
It should be noted I'm like waiting in the hallway outside of the door of this apartment, like waiting to make sure that they all leave.
Okay, so you're outside the hallway? Okay, so what you see are several groups of people flooding into the hallways, moving towards the fire exits and making their way down as like there's the sirens and lights are kind of like pulsing within the hallway with the emergency lights. And you see kind of people, they kind of look at, like, some people don't seem to pay you too much mind other than the fact that you're enormous. And so they kind of see you and they just keep running, not thinking anything else other than just getting out of the building.
I'll take up as little hallway space as possible and just like wave people on.
Cool.
We need to contact the authorities and let them know what's up here. There's more undead in that room, and we don't want them getting out.
I'm sure they'll see it when they get here, Rosh.
Well, we also need to let them know what happened. We were attacked by that person, and...
Who's dead now, and I think this is enough.
Well, we can't just leave.
We gotta get out of here, you guys.
We
Went
have
the
to
other
go.
room.
We have to go. Now this is not... It's not our place to deal with.
I trust your judgment. I don't like it, but I'll trust it.
Bolster, you see that the fire brigade is about maybe 15-20 seconds from getting to your floor.
Please,
Guys,
Rosh, let's go.
They're about to blast this place with water, guys. We gotta go.
All right, fine.
I come out and I'm holding a halfling.
Yeah, who's kind of like clutching onto you fearfully with just wide eyes and like not really like focusing on anything in particular, just looking out behind you.
It's alright. Does anyone have a cloak or something?
I look at my room.
Not that one!
I want to say I have something, but I don't have anything written down.
Nope, I don't have anything extra. I don't
All
care.
right, and the fire brigade comes to the floor and begins to unleash massive torrents of water. I'm going to roll some perception checks for these people, see if they notice you. But yeah, they just begin to flood the room with water. I don't know, Bolster, if you're still by the window, if you moved back.
No. I was moving for the door.
Okay, cool. So yeah, All right, they begin to flood the room with water, and you hear like a powerful hisses, and like kind of white smoke begins to fill in the room. And I'm assuming everyone rushes out into the hallway.
Yes, before they think I'm on fire and start
Yeah.
trying to hose me off.
All right, cool. So everyone, I'm going to fast track a little bit as you exit the hallway and begin to rush down the stairs, or not stairs, or probably lifts and stuff like that, emergency lifts, which
Fire
you shouldn't. Well, in the future, they
Okay,
got
fair.
that figured out.
If I can, I'm gonna burn some spell slots on a couple people.
Okay.
To heal them while we're like going down a lift or down.
Yeah, for sure. Go for it. Go ahead and make those rolls. You reach the bottom of the lobby of the building within just a minute. And you're kind of like surrounded by people who are kind of pressing up against you as they're trying to also make their way out. And just as you begin to like kind of approach the exit doors, you see the uniforms of the Concord Guard and some local authorities begin to kind of like push their way through the crowds, asking people to disperse, and they're making their way up now. But you exit the building and leave the Inferno behind you, which is as you kind of walk away, or as you get farther away, you don't see any glow of fire in the 37th floor, so you assume that the fire brigade has eliminated at least that issue. So what do you want to do? But the alarms are still going.
I will do my distinctive, really loud whistle that I do so that Captain comes back to me.
Yes.
And he lands, kind of stumbles a little bit because he's an injured little boy.
Oh, my baby.
And he kind of like scuttles over to you and like kind of uses a little like, you know, climb onto your back and rests his chin on your shoulder.
I nudge his head with my head.
Okay.
It's all right, buddy. We're going to go home. It's going to be okay.
All right. So I assume you all go home? Yes?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, please.
Yeah, probably home and then out again just for a short outing.
Okay. All right. So you are back at the ship. We'll just take you back to the ship for now. What do you want to do? Ba-da-da-da.
I need to roll an injury for poor Captain.
You need to roll 2 for Captain, right?
He only went unconscious one time.
Okay. And I
Samothy's
think
one of
Gwendolyn
twice.
and Samothy's also need to roll.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a D6?
Yeah,
It's
what do
a-
I do?
It's a Constitution save.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know if this is gonna work.
I rolled a 22.
Technically that's a 14.
Okay, I think 14. Hold on, let me see what it is. Plus half your character level. 3. It would be 3. So 13 is the DC.
Okay,
So,
he,
is everyone up north of 13?
yeah, Captain is.
Sam gets 1 injury.
Okay, roll me a D8 for Sam. And his pace 12. Did she roll 12?
That was Captain.
Oh, that's Captain. Okay, so
So-
Captain's gonna roll a D8 for me.
Oh, well, it's technically a 14 because he's proficient in all saving throws.
Okay.
But for some reason, I didn't do that.
All right, cool. So you got a 3.
Sam rolls a 3.
He's got a lasting wound. So I will look up and see what that is real quick. But yeah, so you can all. So what it means is that Samothy's hit point maximum is reduced by an amount equal to half your level rounded up. So 3. Yep.
He just got rebuilt.
But yeah.
All right. I can't actually do that on this character sheet, so that's fine.
Just here,
I did it in my mind.
I'll figure it out for you. Okay, so what do you want to do now that you're back at the ship?
I hold out my bow and my prosthetic arm with the amulet to somebody.
Bolster's like, I'm gonna take that. I gotta take a look at that. And I think he wants to do a ritual on it to identify what they are.
Okay. All right.
And I'm
You
gonna
start
be
doing that.
while this is happening. Petting my bird.
I got it for you, Travis. All right, cool. So, what about the rest of you? Let's go with Vincent. What are you doing now that you're back?
Yeah, once we're all back on the ship, just gonna kind of put it into not like full security lockdown mode, but just like close it up, make it look like no one's home. Just kind of, and then keep an eye out for if it looks like the Popo are coming our way.
Okay.
I know we don't have the FTL fuel or whatever it is yet, but just no one's home. Leave us alone. We didn't hurt
Okay.
nobody.
All right, cool. So, so you're actively keeping an eye out for the cops.
Mm-hmm.
As well. All right.
Space
Roll
cops.
me a perception check and tell me what your passive perception is, just so I know what it is moving
My
forward.
passive perception is just 11. I'm not a very
Okay.
wise boy.
Okay.
And that's what I rolled. I rolled an 11.
Okay. All right. Cool. So, good to know. I'm gonna say because Gwen has someone in her arms. Let's go to Gwen next.
I'm going to take Eleanor to my quarters, I guess. It's
Okay.
like a small kind of safe room.
Okay.
And just kind of set her down, I guess, on the bed.
Okay.
And I like sit down across from her and try to get her to talk to me.
Okay. You sit with her for a while, trying to be comforting, and she seems to respond to you, giving her comfort. But you talk to her and you try to, I'm assuming ask her questions like, what happened? How is she? Stuff like that. She is completely unresponsive. You see her kind of mouth a little bit, trying to bring something together, but like just nothing's happening. It's not like she's speaking and you're supposed to read her lips. She's not making anything. It seems like she's trying and she can't do it. And go ahead and well, no, actually not yet. Do you tell anyone asking anyone for help, or is this like a solo thing? Okay.
I mean, I assume they all see me go, but I just go.
Okay. Let's make a scene. Like, let's put together a group of you. Like we can leave Gwen in the room for now. Let's say that Vincent, you're looking at the scanners from the situation room, let's say, and then we'll say everyone else is there too, other than Gwen and her new ward. So the four of you, Bolster, Pace, Vincent, and Rush are in that room. And you can leave at any time if you want to go to Gwen instead. I'm just going to start us there.
I assume I kind of turned and watched Gwen go with some concern, but I don't want to leave Bolster with these mysterious items.
It's all right. I got it. Go see what our new friend is, I guess.
All right, if you're sure, just yell if you need something.
Yeah, I got help.
Before we do anything else, what are we doing? Why did we have to leave? We should tell somebody what we found up there and what happened.
Gosh, I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to piece it together themselves. They're going to find the zombies. They're going to find...
And they're going to know that we were there. We weren't exactly...
Will they, though? They're going to know who rented that apartment, or at least the pseudonym. Y'all have known me for a bit. You know, weird things happen around me. I have some experience with this kind of thing. They're gonna piece together enough of what was going on. We don't need to go and get ourselves in any more trouble. If we go and get involved in this, we're not going to be able to go help with the people we're heading to right now. I know it's not what you want, and there's no good options here, and so we're just doing what we can to make so that we can go do the most help.
He's right, Matchstick. basically, if they come talking to us and ask questions, we can answer them. But it was on fire. Gwen found somebody. We needed to get out of the way of the water things.
If they come and talk to us at this point, it's because they know we ran. And
Who
if
wouldn't
they
run
know,
when the place is on fire? Well,
it's going to look like we killed somebody in cold blood and then ran away.
and we will tell them when they get here that is not the case.
And I think all the zombies might help lend some credibility to that, and that it was self-defense.
And also, nobody.
It's easier to control the story when we can be honest up front and tell people at the scene what happened. But
The truth will win out. You believe a lot in the truth, so just trust that it will work out. And then I leave to follow after Gwen.
Yeah, no Toad Warlock body, but there were still the zombies, right? Or did they get...
Yeah, there's a
pulled?
lot of zombies still there.
Okay.
either way, it seems like what's happening here is more important than what we were going to do. That was dark magic, and I pull out the book from my bag and I put it down in front of Bolster and Vincent, since I know that they know a bit about, or this book that's dark and scary, and I assume they might know something about this. And
so you pull out the book.
Yeah.
Oh, you done fucked up, son? No, I'm just kidding.
We all die.
Straight up
Okay.
Necronomicon.
I think actually immediately, Vincent, your blood kind of feels like it's like it curdles like a little bit, like you're repulsed by this thing that you see in front of you. And Pace, you have a kind of different reaction.
Like as I'm turning my back, I have this like prickle on my neck feeling.
Yeah, you got actually more like on your chest a little bit, as it begins to feel warm and glow where the tattoo that you were given, and I'll say you turn around and you look at this book, and on the cover that seems to be made of leather, but not animal leather. You see a script there that seems, it's very familiar. It's actually worryingly familiar. It makes you feel uneasy because you recognize the alphabet that your super remote planet people use. But you don't actually know what the words say. The constructions of the words and sentences don't make sense to you. It is a different language from what you speak, but it does look familiar.
I'm gonna hesitate and stay in the room instead of going to Gwen. Sorry, Gwen.
Okay. Rosh?
I just look for a reaction from them, and I say, this caught my attention in the room.
Bolster, this book does not faze you, by the way.
Yeah, I think I'm very much into the items that were handed to me, and I think I'm just like checking them out right now.
Yeah, since like it takes 10 minutes, it'll take a little bit longer before you finish one. But I got you on my clock, buddy.
What do you mean it caught your attention?
Well, my instinct was to incinerate it on sight, but I knew that it might contain some sort of answers to what we saw and what's going on with this place.
Then this is the only thing in there that caught your attention like this.
Well, besides the hordes of undead.
Yes, but we're not going to bring a bunch of zombies back to the ship.
I found there were some other books about histories. I got a couple of others, and I'll take those out too. I'm hoping it might give us some answers on who that person was and what they were looking for and why they wanted Gwen.
Well, I think your instincts were right on this book, but I also think that now that we have it here, we're going to make sure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. I think it means that we don't. I think this just lends further proof to we do not want to get involved and let this get out and become a thing.
May I look at that, Rush?
I don't know if that's such a good idea, Pace. This thing makes me uneasy.
Is there a reason why?
It almost looks familiar.
She's a demon, burn her!
I think we should all be here if you want to examine it.
Oh,
so
I don't need to look at it alone.
if you think it might help.
I don't know. And then I'll just take it from him and look at it.
You take it?
Yep.
Okay. What's your alignment?
Neutral good.
Okay. Let me roll something real quick.
Okay, that sounds good.
Dang.
Bye, guys. And then she dies again.
I think in this like super intense moment where everyone's like talking to each other, like Bolster's in the background, like, help, come over here and hold this for me. Can you hold up this cloak? I got to take a real close look at it. 1 second.
Okay.
Anybody?
All right. So, I don't know, just because this seems fun to me. As Pace, you take the book in your hand, you feel this surge and sick feeling begin to sweep over you like a lightning bolt. Just as Bolster kind of picks up the robes, it's a robe of eyes. Pace, you take 30 points of necrotic damage.
Whoa.
What am I at? I immediately fall unconscious.
I rush over and use the healing hands on her, so she gets 5 hit points back.
Okay, and the book kind of hits the floor, and it begins to ripple, and kind of a maw seems to grow in the front cover, and begins to kind of, with kind of short but pointy teeth, kind of like snap once and then kind of recedes. And the room smells bad. Worse.
That is not what I was thinking was going to happen. That was not great.
I begin to conjure a produce flame in my hand to destroy the book. I'm just waiting there. And I look to Vincent and say, so...
It's a rope of eyes. Oh,
just
no.
check one thing. Pace, why did you want to check that out?
Like I said, it looked familiar. I wanted to see if a closer look I could read it.
Familiar from where?
From my home.
Have you encountered people that practice these sorts of magics on your homeworld?
No. Well, no.
No, not like this.
No, not like this.
Roll me an intelligence check, the three of you.
Okay.
Are you paying attention, Bolster? Because you can too if you are paying attention.
So have I
It's a big
identified
50.
both of the items or just one
You've
of them?
identified
right now?
one. The one is a robe of eyes. I'll put this in your thing so you can read it. On your
So I
Tides
think-
of Chaos, that roll.
I think if Pace seems okay, then I would. But if she's like just now getting up, I would have been broken out of my.
I think she
My
seems pretty
interest.
shooken up.
I'm
All right,
pretty
it's-
shook.
It's in your folder.
Oh, awesome!
Gonna
All
use
right.
my DM inspiration.
Okay.
Really want to know what this book is.
Single digit bros!
All right. So just to read the can you read the numbers out real quick for
I
the
got it.
viewership?
I got a 15.
All right.
9.
And a 7.
Yeah. So as kind of Pace, as you feel Rosh and Vincent begin to question you, it doesn't quite feel like an interrogation yet, but you kind of maybe for a moment feel like they're trying to figure out something about you, and you just have a kind of like a flash of like a realization that when Rosh was handling the book, he was very specific about holding it in fabric, and not making skin contact, where you reached out and grabbed it, and like that, it might not be necessarily because you are where you're from or anything. Might be just because you touched it. You don't know that for sure, but like you've kind of, partly because you don't really like how this Inquisition is happening, like the implications of what they're saying. But
So don't touch it. I think we've learned that. You're welcome.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons why I picked it up the way I did.
That makes sense now.
I didn't know that was going to happen, obviously, but
Cool. I'm gonna go see Gwen now.
lamp. Can you roll me an injury check, please?
Yeah, I can.
So we determined the DC is 13. Con save.
That is a 12.
All right, roll me a D8, please.
Oh, I will.
Oh wait, so this is your second, right?
No, because Captain was unconscious, not Pace.
Oh, it wasn't Pace. Okay.
So
No, I'm just kidding.
disappointed.
What's the number? What's
That's
the
a 6.
6? Okay. For 6, you have a mild concussion. So what this means is you're unable to concentrate on a spell or a similar effect for more than a minute at a time. You have disadvantage on wisdom perception checks.
Good.
And disadvantage on Constitution saving throws to maintain concentration.
Good.
Yep.
on
I
a
look a little
brand-
dazed,
Basically,
one
this
of my eyes is dilated, the other's not.
just in case I forget, the lasting wound. This is not the case, but for your thing, if you don't go unconscious again for 24 hours, you're restored.
Cool.
So, so this one has a clock. The
Okay.
other one is, what's the word?
Forever.
Yeah.
permanent.
Well,
Lasting injury
don't
lasts.
touch it.
On a positive note, while there's a lull, you get Raven redeemed a healing for you.
Thank you.
For
I
a
feel
D10.
so much better now. What do I roll for that? Just a D10?
Mhm.
Was it a D10?
I think so. Unless you
Cool.
want it to be something else. Dungeon
No,
Master.
D10's fine. D10's great.
That's a 6. I feel so good now. Yeah, so keeping with the theme of what I said before, just don't touch it. I'm going to go see Gwen now. And then, like, almost miss the doorway and kind of just, like, walk away.
Okay.
Very, very steadily.
I haven't been going back to Gwen much because nothing really changes in your situation. As Pace will arrive after about 12, 13 minutes or so.
That's a big ship.
Yeah. Well, from
Oh,
Gwen arriving.
I got you. I was like, holy.
Yeah. So we can play that scene out real quick. We'll see what happens there.
Okay.
Knock, knock, knock.
Come in.
Creek. Or I don't know how it works.
How do spaceship doors work?
Swoop.
Yeah. Hydraulics. Just.
Hi.
Hi.
Anything I can do for you?
I don't know.
Who's this?
Pace, this is Eleanor of the Rueful Heart.
Eleanor. The one that was talking about.
Yes. This is one of my sisters.
I'll kneel down so that I can sort of be eye level with her on the bed. I'm assuming she's sitting on like a cot.
Sure.
I'm gonna do a medicine check. See what's up.
Okay.
I have disadvantage though. Right?
I don't think so.
Or is it just wisdom perception?
Perception specifically.
Excellent.
Although it probably makes sense to do it for all, but in this
Well,
case,
I got a 9 anyway, so.
yeah. it looks like someone's been keeping her in a cage for a long time and not really taking great care of her.
That seems legit.
Yeah.
She's not in great health.
No, she's not.
Has she said anything? Have you said anything? Are you okay?
She won't speak. She sort of moved her mouth a bit earlier, but I don't think it was forming words.
I think this is a flamehead problem. I'm going to go get food, maybe. Maybe she needs food. She looks thin.
Well, she's always been thin, but she probably hasn't eaten.
Is there anything I can do for you, Gwen?
I'm fine.
And Friend kind of is slowly kind of rolling over her shoulder at that moment.
Is she really fine? Are you really fine, Gwen?
I don't know. Do you want to roll an insight check?
I'm gonna roll an insight check. Oh, freaking! It was almost an 18. 11.
You can answer that however you want to, Gwen.
I have not seen any of my sisters in a very long time. And this is not how I expected it to go. But most of us have been through worse. I think some food would be good.
Worse than somebody hunting you down.
Many of us have been hunted before. Not just by monsters. Not everyone likes us so much.
Well, I like you.
Thank you.
I'll get that food.
Thank you.
And I'm out.
Okay. Getting
Peace
food.
out.
Peace out. Okay, so Vincent and Rosh, did the two of you want to do anything in the immediate now?
I see Rosh with the produced flame at the ready, and again, I think your instincts are right, but maybe it might be worth asking Bolster to take a look at it.
I was about to ask the same thing. Bolster, can you identify this without touching it?
What is can you roll identify or whatever? Because I want to see if there's a touch component to it.
It says range touch in the PHP.
It's touch or
Here,
range.
this is my own thing. Your understanding of magic items allows you to analyze and understand their secrets. You know the artificer spells, detect magic, and identify. Oh, I have to actually look for identify.
Yeah, I got it. You got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Guess this is Matta's. So its range is touch.
Maybe with gloves on?
Hey.
Well,
Hurt.
gonna hurt.
I can.
Well, I mean, it can. It really can.
I
But
can try casting something on you that might keep you from succumbing to whatever Pace or whatever happened to her.
Sure.
I don't know if it'll work.
But I've never been scared of a book before, so this ought to be a good experience.
Right.
Let's go. I'm ready.
Right. And this really isn't, I don't think, probably a typical cast use of this spell, but I was going to try casting Protection from Evil and Good on Bolster.
Yep. Cool.
See if that might somehow.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, go roll, cast it so I can read the description.
Yeah.
And interpret it. Okay, so we'll say Bolster finishes identification of the other one. And I will go ahead and put that in your inventory as well.
Neat.
Just so you can see what it is. Okay. Okay. Bastion. Gwen. Are you proficient in Arcana? Okay, never mind. Let's go back to Rush and Vincent. Okay, cool. All right, so Bolster, you finish up looking over these items. You know what they are now. And this book is slid on the table. What do you want to do?
So Rosh has cast the protection from evil and good spell on me.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm going to kind of look at Rosh and I'm going to be like, all right, well, here goes nothing. All right. And I reach and I like take my little tiny paw and I just reach and I tap the book really quickly.
You're wearing gloves, is that right?
Yeah, I think like little gloves on my paws.
Okay. Doesn't seem to react.
Okay. Well, I think I could do this then. And I start the identification ritual all over again, which is really just me like picking at it and
like,
reading
it's
it.
like, what are you? What are you? What are you? What are you? What are you?
Bang it against the table, bang it against my head.
It's like, hey, I think it's Legos.
So, okay. So what you do, you hold it for a minute. Let me get perception checks from. I'm assuming the three of you are going to stay. And Rush and Vincent. You're not letting this out of your sight. Perception checks from the two of you, and perception check from Bolster. Okay, Vincent and. Actually, I don't know. Bolster, I think you're. This is one of those things you can't see the forest of the trees. You're too close to this thing as you're like looking over it. But Vincent and Russell, you begin to notice that like Bolster's gloves. There seems to be like a vapor that seems to be coming up around them, and the kind of leather gloves. Like you kind of get the smell of like burning leather.
Let's maybe hold. Just kind of put a finger up to Rosh and say, "Seems to be okay for now, but I'm out of ways to heal him. So if he drops, it's gonna be on you."
I can do one more.
All right. Let's see if he can finish up the spell before it bats him.
Okay.
And if it doesn't, we'll save this for another day.
If we're whispering this, I'm just gonna call and be like, "Buddy, how much longer is it gonna be over there?"
Okay, Bolster, I'm gonna give you before the ritual ends. You have one more perception check to see if you notice what's happening as this book begins to eat through your gloves.
Woo!
Okay, gotta roll something.
Man, someone cooking something? Oh, that's great. I'm hungry. Opening the book.
Just too engrossed in your work. Bolster, you take 31 points of necrotic damage.
Woo! That's a jolt.
Are you conscious?
I am down.
Okay.
I am a little mouse.
All right, with 2 minutes to go left in the ritual, Bolster shrieks and goes rigid and goes down. And the maw once again returns to the front of the cover and begins to snap. And you almost see what looks like the beginning of like knobby appendages begin to come out from the corners of the book. And then it slowly recedes.
So like worse this time than it was the last time.
Depends on your perspective.
Okay, I'm gonna with my last spell slot, 2nd level Cure Wounds Bolster, and then I'm out.
We can't go anywhere for the rest of the day.
It's like, do it again, Bolster.
I just gotta get some thicker gloves.
Oh no! Oh, his gloves like
double layer
Paul's
latex
gloves.
Like right now they've got like the fingers have kind of like as like the bottoms of them are kind of burned off.
My poor little paws.
I can make you some new ones.
Also, roll me an injury check, please, Bolster.
Of course.
Con save.
Con save.
Get a concussion. It's fun.
DC 13.
I also think he has a disadvantage because he's gone.
Have you gone down before?
Oh yeah.
Wait,
Wait.
you go
Was
unconscious.
that Samathies or
It
was
was
that
Sam-
you?
That was
Samathies.
Samathies.
Oh, that's right.
That's
yeah.
right. Oh, good.
Okay, so yeah,
Stop
We
trying to
are-
kill your friends.
We
you're
are
fine.
our companions.
You're fine. You're fine.
I just love these rules so much.
Yes. All right, you're fine. Okay,
The tough little mouse.
so it's about two, in relative time, 2 p.m.
Wait, I thought it was a dinner party.
Oh yeah, that's right. This happened right after that. Sorry, I was thinking a different. Okay, yeah. So this is actually closer to bedtime. It's about I think midnight at this point, probably 11 to midnight.
All right. Well, once Bolster gets brought back, it's like, well, I think we should probably leave all this for the morning at the very least.
Yeah, or we can just destroy this crappy book. I mean, who makes a book that hurts people? I mean, really, that's just not. I mean, you sit down for a relaxing read, and it just messes you up. I don't know. It's just not okay.
Well, there's some wizards and other magic folk out there who are just big old dicks. So
Watch your language.
I'm
it's
having
fine.
a,
None of the ladies are here.
Do you guys
I'm
want
happy-
any jerky? I went to the kitchen and I got some jerky. Do you want some?
Oh, you
good.
got any celery out there?
Yes, I got you some celery.
Oh, thank God.
I'm having to agree with both of you though, because I doubt there's anything in this book now that's more valuable to us than the danger that outweighs the danger that it's causing. It might just be worth destroying or seeing if we can
Yes.
destroy it.
But at the same time, that should probably also wait till the morning in case us trying to destroy it makes it
Yeah.
angry.
Hey, what if we put it in a gun and shot it at somebody? That'd be pretty cool.
That's such a bolster idea.
I mean, I'm just saying. You you tie a rope to it and you just swing it around your head like this.
Not sure that's your best idea yet.
I love it. I love it. This thing hurts people that touch it. Let's make it touch people we don't like.
Maybe we can add it on to the Samathi's vacuum cleaner idea. I think we got a good one here. All right, yeah, I think it's about time to hit the hay, but I do need to tell you guys about some things I discovered. Some nifty little doodads that Pace picked up. So we have right here, and I pull out the robe with all the eyes on it, and I was like, this is kind of creepy. It's just a little creepy with all the eyes, but it's actually kind of cool because when you put it on, and I like put it on, and I'm like, Pace, hold up.
I'm gone.
Oh, you're not there?
No, I came and brought jerky and celery and then I left.
Oh, okay. Well, fine.
And you
Right.
chase her down the hallways.
Pace,
What-
check this out.
And
No.
as you do you attune to this thing?
Oh, I guess if I have to attune to it, then I probably shouldn't. I don't want to take it from someone else. Because
Well, you can. All right. So you can also unattune.
Oh, okay.
Like it just because you attune doesn't mean you can't unattune unless it's cursed.
But that takes.
But
that takes a long rest in it, right?
Short rest.
I think it's short rest.
Oh, short rest.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Most for the most part, it's short rests.
So yeah, I think I just put it on, and I'm like, all right, Rosh, hold up some fingers behind me. I just want you to see. I want to just guess how many fingers you're holding up.
All right.
Is it is it 3?
It is 3.
All right, do it again.
Wait, that's not how that works. What are you
Wait, what?
doing? Oh,
Wait, you
what
can see in all directions, and you
can
have
see-
advantage on wisdom.
Oh, he's right
perception
behind
checks
you.
that
He's
rely
right
on
behind
sight.
you.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Sorry, I thought it was behind his back. My bad.
That's not how that works.
Oh, I was holding him in front of me.
Okay. I thought you were interpreting that as blind sight, but yes. Okay, yes, you're correct. He's gotcha.
So I'm like, here's how it works. You can see in all directions around you, and you get advantage on wisdom/perception check. And I'm just kidding. You can see in the dark up to about 120 feet, and you can see invisible creatures and objects, I think, I mean, this is just a theory here, but I think you can see invisible creatures and objects, as well as see into the ethereal plane. Maybe. I'm still working out the kinks, but yeah, that's pretty cool. But we got to be careful about light. It'll blind you a little bit. So that's that thing, and I take it off and I hand it to Rosh.
Rosh. Oh. I, who blind people and cast light all the time.
The eyes are just kind of looking at you, Rosh.
It might clash with my outfit. Somebody else wants to hold it, but I'll hold it for now for you so it doesn't get dirtier. All
right, and then I pull out this amulet thing, and I'm like, that's not a princess cut, but it's got like this nice oval diamond on it, and it's kind of pretty. It's got this little eye thing on it, which is neat. But looks like when someone wears this, they can hide from divination magic, which is really something that I wish I had had a long time ago, honestly. But that's pretty cool. So if anyone here wants to hide, like, you know, me or Pace, that might...
Pace.
Also, Bolster, I forgot to say this earlier. As you were identifying the robe, you also found 42 gold.
Yay! I share that with everyone.
And
it goes into the ship thing. Someone want to add that to the ship? To the Arcturus?
Does everyone have access?
Yeah.
But I'll go ahead and add that now.
Do it.
Let's all add 42 gold to the Arcturus.
Yes. So those are those things. So if y'all don't mind, I might try getting this amulet. I'd actually like to try copying it for the rest of us, but that might take a little bit of time. But yeah, that would be really nice to have. But yeah, I say we eat a little food and hit the sack. Boy, I feel like half of us have already died today. It's great.
So, by the way, if you aren't looking at Bolster's token while Travis talks, you're not experiencing the full effect.
For those of you following along at home, that's just the little circle icon on his thing.
Yeah. Because I'm just imagining like one big buck tooth and like some whiskers kind of like wiggling as he talks. All right, continue.
Oh, he's so cute.
That's all I got, you guys.
Well, good job.
It's probably time to call it a night then. Just a question of, is this book going to do anything overnight?
I was able to carry it the way here without touching it, obviously.
That's true. So just wrap up real tight in a spare blanket or something.
And as you kind of look to the book, like help, like kind of walks over to it and is about to like kind of pick it up and put it away. He looks at you.
Just leave.
He's like, his antennas like flicker, like.
We appreciate it, but we'll take care of that.
That'll kill you, buddy. It's not a good book. It's a really bad book.
Bring it back.
Knowledge is dangerous. I'm kidding. Knowledge is good.
Help cocks its head and just kind of, and then slowly scuttles away.
I love them so much.
Before somebody else touches it, I throw the cloth over it and put it back in my bag.
Okay. All right. So you all turn in. Look, Gwen, how do you sleep on the floor, or what? I would like to know what your room looks like. Specific. I mean, there is a 6th room that no one is using, so you can take one of those. Like, that's an option, or if you want to stay with her, that's up to you.
I just trance for 4 hours.
Oh, right on.
Because I'm an elf.
Like the music,
of course you are.
Or like.
Yes. For 4 hours. I have. Let me click it.
Stressful long rest ever.
Clickety click. Elves don't need to sleep. Instead, they meditate deeply, remaining semi-conscious for 4 hours a day.
Yep.
Other stuff.
You can dream after a fashion.
After a fashion. So I'll trance on the floor.
Okay.
And I'll see if maybe Eleanor will sleep.
After a long time, she eventually does manage to fall asleep, and she sleeps hard. And last session, everyone earned enough XP to go to level 5. So now that you're experiencing this long rest, everyone can do all the bookkeeping things to actually flip you all over the way to 5th level. Everyone gets their HP back with the exception of Samathes, who has that -3, which I've fixed in there. You should.
Thank you.
I'll show you how to do that later. We're going to take a break now. This is a perfect time to take a break. We should be back in about 10 minutes. We will let you look at our super cool We'll Be Back screen, which is brand new. By the way, I just want to call out and say thank you to Savannah, and who is cobbling together all the things that Travis made. And Travis spent a long time this whole weekend putting all this stuff together. Really appreciate everything that those two do to make this stream look amazing. And obviously want to thank Alexiel April for making that art for us. Looks incredible. But yeah, we're going to break here. We'll be right back, and we'll pick up where we left off. All right. Thanks, y'all. See you later. Welcome back, Internet Land. We are returning to part 2 of part 8, 9? I don't know what session this is. 8? Okay, cool. So we're part 8.5. Real quickly, do the whole announcement thing real quick. Just go to our Twitter to learn everything you need to learn. Look, if you're on Twitch, look at our Twitch stuff. There's lots of cool stuff there. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, because we want that. We really do. And then follow us on Twitter, and you'll learn everything that you need to know of what we're doing. So, yeah, here we are. It's a new dawn, a new day, as everyone wakes up feeling stronger than ever. Yeah. So, are we keeping track of what day it is? Who's timekeeper lord? Nope.
Lindsay
Nobody?
said she knew.
You're muted.
I did? Because I'm pretty sure I did not update this document ever before in my life.
Yeah, you were like, oh, it's been this many days. I keep track of that stuff.
Oh, well, my
Those are
death.
words
I meant my death.
that you said to me.
I
keep
think
track of how long I was
session. I think it is. I think I actually filled this out last time. Session 7 ended in the evening of the 29th, so I think today is the 30th, the morning of the 30th.
I'll update it.
Okay, and when we end the session, if like the days progress more than today, we'll just like put it whatever the time is when we end the session. Okay, cool. So it's month 2, day 30 of 3211, and you're on the Uval station. What do you want to do? You have your arc light reserves. We're at 2 now. They're at 3. Yeah, what do you want to do? Kind of, I would imagine Vincent gets up, kind of like checks all the sensors, make sure there's not like a blockade or anything.
Yep.
You don't see anything that seems that way.
Just go around to the rest of the crew, see if there's anything else they want us to grab here before we head out. Maybe get some thicker gloves for Bolster. But any last things we want to do at the way station before we punch it to hyperdrive?
So Bolster is interested in checking to see if there are any other mechanists on the station. It's something that he's going to kind of regularly do. He's very interested in finding other artificers, finding more information about his trade.
So when you say mechanist, do you mean like people who work on ships or mechs, or what do you mean specifically, just so I can...
Oh goodness, I can't do this without revealing more of his backstory, so maybe I should be doing this in character. Shoot.
Well, okay. Yeah, I mean, if you want to do it that way, that's fine. I just like trying to find out... Yeah, it's month 2, day 30.
I'm looking for more dudes like me.
More dudes like you who do what you do. All right. Roll me an investigation check as you kind of go around the city trying to find, like, I guess, ask around and see if you can tell people who do what you do. Okay, what did you roll?
13.
13 investigation. I think you spend the better part of the day trying to ask around, seeing if anyone does something as sophisticated as what you do, with the same. It's not just a matter of sophistication. It's also a matter of just like, a broadness of the field. Like, I feel like you meet a lot of people who it's like, oh, I make pressure intake valves, and they're really good at that. And like, you meet a lot of people who are very very hyper specialized in different in different areas of like creating magical items or working on ships, but like there's actually, you haven't met anyone who actually understands the breadth of it like you could. There's no one that you've met that could actually build a magic item from scratch like you can. All right. So you are in that area outclassing everyone that you've met so far on this station.
All right, then I don't need anything else from this station. I'm headed back.
Okay, let's go to the next person then. Let's go to Gwen, because I feel like she has kind of what she does per day might affect what other people do. Let's start there.
I'm eating, and also Gwen is eating.
And Eleanor will be eating with you too.
Okay.
Kind
of. I'm gonna stay with her probably the whole day, unless anybody like needs me for anything, and try to gauge how she's feeling, and see if she'll talk to me. But she slept and she's eating, so I know those are probably good. And then at some point I would probably, since I think Rosh knows the most about medicine out of any of us, would probably pull them aside, or go over the ship comms and press the button and see if maybe they can lend any insight into if anything is like permanently wrong with her, or if it's more than just like exhaustion or anything like that.
So I think what you notice in the morning, actually, we'll bring Rosh in the room and then I'll just say this. Rosh, do you want to open with anything before you get into the room?
There was something I was going to do immediately in the morning, which, depending on how badly it goes, might affect how this turns out.
Okay, let's do that.
Oh, good. Great.
I was going to use a spell that I keep forgetting that I have, which might keep us out of these situations, and I was going to use my augury ritual.
Okay.
I can use it twice before it starts having a chance to fail. So I wanted to kind of gain some insight from the cosmic incandescence on 2 courses of action to see how they'll turn out. I'll go ahead and put the spell so you can read it while I'm
Thank you.
And I am losing my voice. Where is augury? That's right. I can't spell.
Where is augury?
So the first one, the first time I cast it, I want to ask essentially what the result's going to be if I decide to pick up this book and try to open it and try to see what's inside of it.
Okay.
If it's going to be good, if it's going to be bad, if it's going to be a bit of both, or it's just going to murder me.
And so you're basically, what is the flavor of this? Because I think when they say that you're like throwing sticks and stuff, it's like casting lots. But like, is that what it looks like to you, or do you want to like flavor it differently?
No, I actually think it would probably, true to form, probably just be me lighting like a small flame or a small fire and just kind of looking into that and seeing how it reacts when I ask these questions.
Okay. As the flames kind of lick in your hands, they seem to kind of twist, and you just kind of, not in words, but you feel like, if you feel in your head just whoa, 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 whoa.
Okay. All right. So my second action then is, or my second using of the ritual is going to be asking, or what's going to happen if I try to destroy it, or I'm going to try to destroy this. How's that going to turn out?
The fire begins to turn more and more, and you hear, "Whoa, wheel, whoa, wheel."
Sounds like my washing machine. Sorry. All right. Well, that's about what I expected. So I'm going to wrap the book back up, leave it in my bag in the room, and I'll go out and see what Gwen wants.
Okay. So Rosh kicks down the door, comes inside, and
I'm eating.
She's eating rations. As you've noticed lately, her appetite has increased quite a bit.
Nom 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 nom.
How's your friend doing?
Has she said anything at this point?
She is not. Yeah, I'm going to hold off until Rosh checks some stuff out to explain more of what you've noticed.
Well, she slept and she's eaten. She won't speak, and she seems a bit disoriented, I guess.
Do you think she's in a place where I might be able to examine her and see if there might be something I can do to help?
As you're talking, Eleanor, she seems very aware. Like as you come in, Rush, she like looks up at you immediately. And earlier in the morning, Gwen, like you've heard, as people have kind of gotten up in the morning and walked down the hallways, Eleanor has been like alert and like seems to be very much aware of everything that's going on around her. But as you talk to her, she kind of looks pained a little bit, confused, gets frustrated. She's just kind of like just rubbing her head where it's been shaved, and just kind of like just seems very troubled every time that you talk, and anytime she hears anyone talking. As you and Rosh are having this conversation, this behavior once again comes up.
I lower my voice a little bit, and she acts like that anytime anyone speaks. This is not my area of expertise.
I'm going to take off my robe so I look a little bit less like kind of ornate and a little more kind of plain, a little bit less frightening, and nothing I can do about my hair at this point. I'm just going to kind of kneel down, like I've seen Pace sort of approaching animals, and just sort of get on her level a bit, and just say, Gwen, what's her name again?
Eleanor?
Eleanor. My name is Rosh. I'd like to try to help you if I can.
Notice that she has trouble focusing on your eyes. She like looks at you and kind of like looks to your like shoulders, looks at Gwen, looks around the room, and like as you're talking, once again, kind of just that expression of perplexion, I think is a form of that word.
If she lets me get close enough, I'd just kind of like to look her over, try to get a general sense of her health, try to see if there might be something like physically that's keeping her from speaking.
roll me a charisma check as you just approach her to try to not be. Is your charisma bad?
Charisma's a -2.
Okay. All right.
Because I'm on fire. That is a 1.
Not natural.
Not natural.
But it is a 1.
It is a 1.
Okay.
You scary.
She kind of makes a guttural sound, almost like a bark, and she kind of backs away against you, against the wall. Gwen, are there any weapons in your room?
The ones on my body.
Ones in your body? I think she's gonna try to, like, do you have like a dagger or something?
I have my sword, and I have a crossbow on my back.
Okay, I think she's gonna go for the crossbow on the back. I'm gonna do a sleight of hand check. And if you want to stop her, I think this will probably be an opposed sleight of hand, maybe. I think you're looking at her intently, so it's not about subterfuge. It's about speed.
Okay. Yeah, I would like her to not have my crossbow.
Okay.
That's a 22 that I rolled.
Yeah. So she reaches for it. You kind of just back up instinctively, and since her reach is much shorter than yours, it's not hard to get out of her way. And then also a friend kind of like goes over your crossbow a little bit and like kind of suctions it to your back and keeping it in place. Yeah, so you keep it away from her. And then she just kind of like plasters herself against the wall and kind of looking back and forth between Gwen and Rosh.
I don't know what else to do. She won't let me inspect or examine her. I can't know what's going on. I could detect to see if there's any sort of magical interference, but that's about it.
Well, thanks for trying.
What was she like before all of this?
What was she like?
How about you? We can talk about this together. What was she like?
Eleanor.
She's not the same order that you're in of blood hunters. She's a different sort.
Do I know which one?
Yeah, I want to whisper it to you.
Okay.
Not that I think it makes a big difference, but whispers are fun.
Whispers are fun.
Cool. Did you get that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I remember how to do it. Yay.
It says that it's from me.
Yeah, because I
which I
forgot
like.
how to do whispers.
I like it. It's like I'm remembering things.
Yeah.
Eleanor she's right here. Very smart. Very, very smart. And very compassionate. She liked books. She liked learning and creating new things. Much better at all the alchemy and other business than my small order was. that was her forte.
If you think this may be caused by something that they did to her, I know healers more capable than I, that we discussed when Pace died, taking her to. I would offer the same services for one of my friends as well.
Yes, I saw it.
Okay.
I'm afraid to take her anywhere.
She can't stay here, though.
Why not?
Would you leave her on the station for...
No, she'll come with us.
Oh. Sorry, that's not what I thought you meant.
She can stay on the ship.
Of course. And if she stays on the ship, we can bring her, if we wish to travel to my temple, I could have somebody brought aboard that might be able to help her in that way. Something to think about. Why don't I sit with you for a bit? I can use my abilities to at least detect any sort of magical interference, see if I get some clue as to what's going on. I could attempt, if she is under the effect of some sort of curse, I could attempt to dispel it, perhaps, but I don't have the same powers as others more practiced in this than I am.
All right.
So I'll just find a small area in the corner and just sit there and cast Detect Magic.
Okay, can you roll that for me, please?
Yeah.
Let's see the scope of it.
I don't know if it'll work at all, but...
The bear's magic. Most bears, blah, blah, blah. I guess it depends on how you view. I think what I want to do is, like, at least for this particular thing, magic might work differently for different spells, but for this particular spell, I kind of like the idea of it being a persistent magical interference or block, so something that is detectable rather than just like, so like if I were to turn you into a sheep, and if I was using polymorph or something like that, I don't know if there would be any residual magic on that, because you might just be physically a sheep at that point, depending on how the spell works. But I think this one is actually kind of locking someone in place, and it's a persistent, existent energy. So I'm gonna say that you find that there seems to be, what school is this? I need to find out. There is a very powerful enchantment that has been cast on Eleanor. Don't know what it is.
It's if it's what you said during break, it's enchantment.
Yeah. So there's a very strong enchantment on her. Way beyond where you're at right now.
Yeah. I don't know. So nothing that I could, with a lucky roll, try to dispel or something, or is this something that I'd have to actually have some restorative capabilities to?
You can certainly try something, but you don't even know what the spell is, so you don't actually know what it requires.
Yeah, I was just thinking if I can sense that there's magic, just trying to dispel it because it's something that I just picked up.
Sure, give it a shot.
All right, I will use a 3rd level spell slot to cast Dispel Magic on it. which I'll put the details there.
Okay. So, you cast a spell, and the magics that you cast, they swirl through the room. Normally, what they do is they find a spell effect or a spell, a lattice work of spells, and it kind of like slowly unweaves it and unravels it and breaks it apart. It's like a wave meeting a bulwark or a dam. It just like smashes against it and it just bounces off. And you know that from experience, you probably know this from experience. You just know that whatever this is, it's beyond the level of that you're able to cast out right now, or you don't have the strength yet to dispel this.
Okay. It's as I feared. There is some sort of enchantment that is causing this, but I'm not powerful enough to do anything about it at this time.
Do you know
It'll be
who that
okay.
is?
Yes, I there are many people, I think, capable of doing this that back where I came from. I think if we were to travel back to the temple, that we could find somebody there that could help her. Knowing that it's magic and that it's not something physical, I think should be a little more comforting, because I think it can be reversed.
I find very little comfort in most things in this world.
Well, we'll leave this world and go to another then.
Thank you for trying.
Certainly. And if she needs any healing or medical attention, I can do my best. But after we take care of this business, maybe we travel that way. There are a few other questions I might have for my elders. Answers that I think we need, given what we've seen.
What do you mean?
Well, the frogman being pulled into a gaping hole by hands was a little disconcerting, and the sheer amount of undead and the necromantic magics, as well as this book, which I need to tell everyone it's probably a bad idea to try to touch, just so you know. I think we should take it back to them as well, so that they can examine it and figure out what's going on.
Sometimes when we're all together, I forget I've been around much longer than all of you.
True. Well, maybe you should try to keep us in line then and keep us from killing ourselves on a daily basis.
No one's up to that task.
I don't know if that should be my responsibility.
Well, we have a job to do, though, and it doesn't seem like anything we need to do here anymore, so I guess we should get going.
Indeed.
At this point, you hear like Bolster arrive, and like the back hatch like opens, and he like comes in, and he's like, "All right, well, there ain't nothing here for us in this popsicle stand. Can we get out of here?"
Not quite yet, unless you pay to charge up your engine. Well, you can leave.
Oh.
All right. Oh, well, I'll say this: you can leave now because you have, 3 days of FTL travel. To get to where you want to go is 4 days. So you could travel 3 days and then hang out in deep space for a day. If you want to do that, that's an option.
That sounds bad. I don't know why, but that sounds
we
bad.
might also be wanted by the authorities here, so...
What about Reavers?
Do you want to find out if you're looking? You want to find out if you're being looked at? by authorities?
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be something to look for on the down low.
Yeah.
Okay. Pace, what have you been doing today? I forgot to check in with you.
I honestly don't know what Pace is doing. She's just hanging out with Captain, teaching him some new tricks.
Feeding the animals.
Feeding
Okay.
the animals. Checking
Okay.
on them.
All right. So now that you have Eleanor on board, your rations are 13 a day. So throughout the 30th, you're going to drop from 100 to 87.
And I think we may need to still go back and check math on rations last session, because I feel like we did 50 gold for 50 rations, which is way over.
No, yeah, we were supposed to drop to 25.
25 gold.
If we didn't amend the gold amount, then yeah, give yourself another 25 gold.
Okay. All right. Okay, so 87 rations, 13 a day.
Yeah, that's the current rate. With most of that, well, half of that is y'all, and half of that is Pace's Zoo.
Mm-hmm. So maybe if we do spend part of today, if we decide to wait another day, we pay another visit to Jeffrey, and he's just like, hey, more rations, please. Okay, thanks.
We were
Okay.
hungrier than we thought.
All right, who's going to Jeffrey's?
I would go back since I already established the rapport.
Okay. All right. You walk in, and Jeffrey, the large, burly Yeti wearing a pristine white apron, is like, "Oh, you're back." It's like, "I do love repeat customers. Just one moment. I'm taking this out to another customer, but I'm really looking forward to providing any service that you may have."
Yes, of course. Take your time, Jeffrey.
Sure. And you see him walking with an absurdly small tray to his form, and it has on the center a small espresso cup. And he is carrying it out to a table where you see a small figure wearing kind of navy and olive colors of an officer's uniform. And their back is to you, but you see from your vantage what looks like a very thin layer of like kind of honey-colored fur, and then two bat-like ears sticking up as this officer begins to sip on the espresso and lights a very thin cigarette. But yeah, and Jeffrey's like, "Oh, I don't know if we've been introduced before exactly, but did we get our names last time? I know I introduced myself. I always do."
Yes, well, that's just because you're that kind of jovial fellow.
That's true.
My name is Vin.
Vin.
Yeah.
It is good to see you again.
And you likewise, Jeffrey. I'm back because I'm realizing that, essentially I need some more rations. We may be, on the road for a bit longer than we initially anticipated, so better safe than sorry. Don't want to wind up in deep space and have to start eating the other crew members to survive. I don't know if I'd win that fight between you and me.
Oh, between you and me, I would eat you up in a heartbeat. But
I'm sure you could.
But I suppose, more rations, of course. Well, how many were you looking for this time?
Oh, guys, how much of our gold do we want to get? 50 more rations? Okay.
Yeah, I can't hurt.
I believe I overcharged you last time, so we'll just call it even.
Sounds good to me.
And he brings out another box of 50 rations for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And as he's doing that, I also say, Jeffrey, did you hear anything about that explosion last night at one of the? I guess it's a residence here.
Oh yes.
I saw there was a big hullabaloo, but I don't know what.
Hullabaloo too. Yes, absolutely. I believe that it was in the Twilight Heights building. Yes. Oh, nasty business that. There was a fire, and
I've heard rumors about it. I don't know, but when people talk here at the restaurant, and so I do know a little bit of inside information. The people said there's some sort of well, it sounds silly to say it, but in a room full of zombies.
Zombies in space? That just sounds ridiculous.
It does, but it does happen from time to time, I'm told.
Oh, well, I hope that's not the case, because, zombies just give me the heebie-jeebies.
No, and they said it happened at old Burger Plum's residence, but they couldn't find him anywhere. They could, even among the fire or the zombies themselves, they looked and they found a lot of burned items, and them told they found blood on the scene, but I mean, with zombies everywhere, of course, they tend to be leaky.
Right, yep, that they do. Oh, well, I hope you said Burgle Plum?
Yeah, Burger Plump, yes.
Burgle Plum.
Yeah, he was in here the other day. I think you met him.
Was he that sort of amphibious fellow?
Well, yes. He's very slick and slimy. But yes, he looks... Don't tell him I said this, but yes, he looks very much like a toad.
Right, yeah, that does ring a bell. Well, I certainly hope he's okay. I hope he turns up soon, safe and sound.
I'm sure he will. He probably just got, I don't know, off in some sort of tea party bender or something.
Sure. I mean, tea party ragers are, oh man, I did one once when I was younger. Ooh, boy.
They're really not my speed, I have to say. Just, it's the white fur it stains.
Right, yeah, I mean, these robes don't keep themselves that clean, and I'd rather avoid getting them messy, so I understand where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
But so, Burgleplop there were zombies in this place? Were they his zombies?
No, that seems ridiculous.
It
Ridiculous
does,
as space zombies, I suppose, but...
Yes, but why else would there be zombies in an individual's residence?
Mm-hmm. I've read a lot of zombie literature in my day, and they never talk about which apartment it starts from. It's usually whatever it is has been going on for a long period of time. So I don't know quite a lot about it. It seems strange that they would all be in an apartment. I'm trying very hard not to make a joke about certain kinds of parties, but I don't know.
Well, as long as they've been able to contain
this party
zombie
really
outbreak.
died. That was a joke I was going to make. I was trying to figure out how to work it through, but
well, yes, I'm sorry, that joke was just so it completely derailed my train of thought.
Oh, yes.
Whoa.
Good laugh.
Yes, well, thank you for filling me in on the rumor mill. I know to keep far away from that Twilight residence now, I believe you said it was.
Oh, yeah, it's been a place on lockdown.
Yep.
I think all the people inside are displaced. It's very sad.
Well,
But for right now, but you're interested in rumors of interesting mysteries?
is there more that's happening on this way station than just zombies in an apartment?
Well, not in the way station exactly, but I don't know if you noticed when you flew in, all the and he says this in a quiet voice, like Concorde frigates.
Sure, yep, one of them flagged us down.
Yes. Well, they're not. Normally there's some Concorde presence here, but not normally this strong. I think something is happening in the sector. Somewhere close by, I've seen scouting ships and probes being sent out. All throughout Yuval. Pilots come here every day. like long-range scouting pilots. Like that one over there. The one in the olive and blue uniform.
And I look over, I assume this is the individual you described before.
Mm-hmm.
Is the uniform Concord or?
It's Concord, but it's seems to be an officer of highly ranked. There's like a cap that's placed neatly on the side of the table as this individual is like drinking an espresso and smoking a thin cigarette.
So I'm trying to catch up on chat and see if they're trying to tell me things that I should be asking. But so the Concord, do you have any idea what they might be looking for? What is in this sector other than the way station?
Well, I mean, there's a few different colonies around who have tried to make their way out here, but it's a pretty sleepy sector for the most part. Nothing that requires Concord presence. I know that the old orc fleets that kind of usually used to be in this area have been gone for decades and decades, so I don't think that that's what they're doing, but it's possible that maybe something like that is about, or maybe something entirely different. Maybe some sort of spatial anomaly is out there.
Well, do you think they'd be taking on contractors? Or is this purely a Concordian setup?
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't know.
Maybe I'll go inquire with that gentleman and an officer over there.
Okay. I'm sorry.
He's like, well, if you need any food or anything else, please see me. But if you're going to need it soon, you're going to need me some time because it's going to take me a little bit to make up. My stores are nearly empty now.
Yes, of course. I think we'll probably be sticking around another day or so. So,
well, I'll see if I can get my lovely wife to help me make some more rations. She's just a genius at it. I've tried to learn everything that I can from her, but I mean, she really is the one that take this diner to the next level. I bet you I don't know if you've had your rations yet, but they are delicious.
Oh, I'm sure they are. Well, thank you once again for the business, Jeffrey, and for the information. This was quite an illuminating conversation.
Well, I do what I can. As you can see, today is kind of slow, but normally there's more people in here, and so I appreciate you talking to an old fuzzy yeti.
Oh, you're not that old. Granted, I don't know the average lifespan of a yeti, so.
Well, I don't want to think about that right now.
Yep, you're right. You're right. Should have.
I mean, if
I said anything.
If I don't leave those pies alone, it probably won't be that long. But I'll die happy and round.
And can anyone ask for anything more?
I don't think so.
Well, once again, thank you for everything, Jeffrey. I think I may go pay a visit to that officer over there, see if they might be looking for some assistance.
Sure. Do what you like.
Cool. And so let's go back to the ship real quick. The four of you, what are y'all doing?
I'm doing nothing. Whole lot of nothing. Hanging out with aminals.
Okay.
Bolster is working on trying to Pace had asked him for some special arrows a while back, and he's still trying to figure out how to make them. So I think he's just kind of tinkering around with ideas of how to make some nifty arrows.
Okay. Is there like a mechanic in your class for that? Or are we going loose with it?
I think we're going more loose with it, honestly.
Okay.
Like there's
Do you want to keep secret what you're trying to build from the group?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, then explain to me what you're trying to build and I'll tell you what to roll. to get started on this.
All right. So I want to make, I think what Bolster is going to call hammerhead arrows. Hammerhead arrows are nifty because when you fire them, well, they've got like a weird shaped head on them, obviously. It does a lot of damage, but they're really hard to fire. So when you fire your arrow, you roll with disadvantage. And then when it hits, it does full damage if it hits.
Okay, cool. Dig it. All right. Cool. So go ahead and what's the component that you're going to use? Like on the arrowheads or anything?
So for the arrowheads, it's just metal. Honestly, it's like leftover metal from parts of the ship that have been broken off. They're not like magical or anything like that. They're just beastly arrows.
Okay, so I'm gonna set a DC for this, and this is to be interpreted as an incremental thing. So you're gonna begin to work on it today and doing experimentations on the arrowheads, and you're probably gonna need if it's gonna be used on a longbow, which I think it's too. Wait, do you use a longbow, Pace? All right, since it's gonna be a longbow. You might need Pace to help you test it because that's not something that you can fire.
I could use a little help.
Oh, maybe no. Well, you could spend like a couple days to rig up Sam to be able to shoot one, but currently he can't. Because I think his crossbow is like a built-in thing, so you would need to build some sort of contraption to fire like a longbow. You can either enlist Pace, who's not doing anything, as is canon. So we'll just say for today that she's doing the actual firing for you. So can you roll me your Tinker's Tools? I think that will be what you've been kind of messing around with.
And I rolled a 25.
Oh, Lord almighty, jeez.
I got bonuses on that.
Yeah, you do.
It's good.
Holy God.
That's all I do.
I know
that
that's
is
all you do.
Literally all I do.
Jeez. Well, damn. I was gonna make this take more than a few days, but like, yeah, I think you spend the day, you quickly go through a bunch of ideas that don't work, and you find something that seems to work. You're kind of workshopping and seeing like, is this better than that? I think in the process, you have 2 hammerhead arrows that are functional.
All right. It's been a good day. Thank you.
Yep. Cool. Rush, Gwen. What are you doing? Do you want to explore the space station, or
you looked like you had something you wanted to say.
I really don't have anything.
Great, you can hang out with me.
Okay, I'll hang out with Gwen.
Okay, what do you do? What do you do when you hang out?
So I'm gonna spend some time with Eleanor. I was gonna ask, because I was kind of assuming that she's probably exhausted and is sleeping a lot when she finally goes to sleep.
She has fitful sleeps. She kind of wakes up and starts a lot. I think after, because you've been there for a day almost, Rush, she begins to react, what's the word? Not complacent, but she doesn't seem to have a negative reaction to you anymore. At least like if you're like moving around her, she doesn't seem to be freaked out by your movements anymore. She's more used to you. I think it seems that she's aware that you're not a threat to her. Now that you're not, and you kind of gathered that when you moved towards her earlier, she didn't know if she had trouble trusting you, and your movement kind of freaked her out. But now she's kind of more comfortable with you, and especially with Gwen being there. So you all kind of comfortably just kind of sit in there. Do you read at all, or what do you do?
I was gonna flip through the other books that I picked up.
All right, pick a book that you want to focus on.
I wanted to
Or I
focus-
mean, you can flip through all of them if you want, but if you want to like really deep dive in something, pick up one.
because I think the two I said the history one and the one about the cults.
Cults, yeah. And the history one, was that just like, did I just say just history, or which one? The one you picked?
I thought you said like history of the system or history of like I don't really remember. I heard history.
History. Okay, yeah. We'll say it's Yuval history.
Okay.
Specifically for this sector.
Okay, I wanted to focus on the cults one then.
Okay. All right. So you read through a lot of very, very disturbing stories of cults throughout the millennia. It seems to be just like a kind of a collection of different non-fiction forays into like just saying like, this is the leader, this is how they rose to power, this is the kind of things they believed, and this is how they were eventually wiped out of the galaxy, either by their own hand or by some other authority. You kind of read through them all, and it sounds like the same story over and over and over again, with like popping up in different parts of the galaxy. But you do notice that roll an investigation check.
All right. Investigation. Any day now. 13?
Oh wait, we should talk. All right.
Oh my gosh.
Let's talk about the bits real quick.
Yeah.
Hey man, Kitty Sparkle Lady man, that is a lot of bits.
That is a lot of bits.
That's unbelievable.
That's a metric hecton.
Thank you so much. That's incredibly generous and 100% appreciated and unnecessary and appreciated. It's amazing. So thank you. Just want to let you know that hey, we see you. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And we love
yeah. So we'll stop. Sorry, but I'm not trying to embarrass you, but thanks. Sorry that we don't take it lightly. I gotta switch back gears. Lord Almighty, Marshall, what was your roll?
13.
13.
Is it too late for me to add a guidance or something like that, or I got to do that before the roll, don't I?
Let's just. Why not? That's fine. Go for it.
Please don't be a 1. 2. All right.
Okay. So 15. I think you start to notice a pattern with not all of the cults, certainly not all the cults, but with a small number. They talk about gates. Like, while the way that they talk about gates is very vastly different from each other, but like they specifically talk about gates. They talk about gates to heaven. They talk about gates to hell. They talk about just back up. Okay. They talk about old gods. They talk about the new gods. They talk about celestials and fiends, and different cults focus on different aspects of it and kind of follow different parts of it. But there's a pattern of certain cults seem to spring from places that they call gates or well springs or focal points of some sort of gaps in this plane. There's not a larger pattern than that you can notice, but like you do notice that.
Okay. And do I get it's just a bunch of different cults under this pattern? There's not like a name or something that I can attribute to?
Yeah, it's just there's not a repeated name in the cults. There's a long list of cults, which I can produced to you at some point. But there's nothing. I'll tell you this: if you come across something in the future that you recognize from the book, I will let you know.
Okay.
But right now, it's just like there's different names like the Sunless Dawn and stuff like that.
Okay, but there's not like one cult with like a heart around it, be like, I'm in this one or something that.
No, but I think what you notice, like where you've noticed the pattern of the gates, I think you've also noticed that there's like on the corners of the book, they're a little bit more wrinkled as when like when you're messing around with pages a lot and like the sweat and oils from your fingers gets into the paper and begins to kind of warp the edges of it. Like those seem to be looked at more than others.
Okay.
But there's nothing like, but yeah.
All right.
What was that again?
I'll probably just be talking about this out loud to Gwen while she's in the room. It's just because I'm gonna make the character choice that Rosh probably reads out loud.
Great. I listen.
Yes.
I listen like super intently.
Oh, I bet this is right up your alley.
She's in it.
Yeah.
Like if Gwen existed in our universe, her favorite show would be like Criminal Minds. Like I'm in it.
So much.
Okay. Should I roll me a D100, Rosh? I'll say because you.
Did I just incant some sort of ritual that I'm not that wasn't?
No. I was just
Okay.
there's something I was thinking of that because you haven't gotten through the whole book, but I was just wanting to see
Page 34.
So yeah, that might be for enough. Some of these cults you've noticed have kind of sprung up around different sites of Arlan ruins. You've noticed,
Like the ones that were on on the way to my notes are in front of me. Okay, yeah. All right. I guess as I close the book there, and say, I guess it's good we're heading that way. Maybe this is connected.
It's possible.
I mean, what are the odds of that? But
If you'd seen what I've seen, higher than you'd think.
probably very high. All right. Well, it's possible maybe your friend was here investigating the same thing we were. Maybe got wrapped up into all of this.
It is possible.
Even more reason we have to get her back to her normal state.
We've been sitting for far too long.
We have.
Let's do something. Come on.
All right. Lead the way.
Ha! I want to try something. I get up and I go into the big cargo bay or whatever room has like the tallest ceilings.
yeah. Yep.
He already looks terrified. I want to try something.
All
That's
right.
alright. You don't have to do anything. Just if I fall. Just don't want to like break an arm or anything.
Oh, okay. Medical attention. Got it.
Right. I go over to the wall and I try to climb it.
Okay. As you kind of go to the wall, friend glides across your hands and put your hand up. And you, hand over hand, you go up the wall. And as you get up high enough, you put your foot and part of friend goes down your leg into your foot and you begin to scale the sheer metal wall.
I climb up to the ceiling.
You climb up to the ceiling.
I look down
You look down.
at Rosh, and I just kind of smile a little bit.
That's amazing. How?
I don't know.
I probably wouldn't even understand it. You're like some sort of spider person.
I suppose I am.
We'll come up with a better name than that. That's amazing. Could you dust while you're up there? I don't think we've actually cleaned.
No.
Oh.
You kind of look up, and it is spotless. Because help is a boss.
Yeah, actually,
that's right.
actually, Rosh, I don't think it needs cleaning. I guess that's what Help's been doing all this time.
Are we paying help?
I think we should be.
I feel like we should be getting help things, and I don't know if they would accept payment.
We're feeding them, and they have a place to stay.
It just doesn't feel like enough.
Oh. Listen, I'll come down and we'll speak more on the subject. I climb down.
They're just yelling at each other from ceiling and floor. Hey, we should pay help. Yeah, you're right.
Let's go back to the diner where Vincent is approaching this individual. And as you kind of approach the table, you look down, and they're sitting kind of squat. You can tell that they are small size, maybe 3 feet tall. And as you kind of round the table and seeing behind them, they have kind of dog-like features. There are kind of honey-colored skin, or a honey-colored fur, rather, very short coat, and on the front there's has very short muzzle with large wrinkles that go from like kind of the nose and the eyes, and they kind of bounds up to where the lips kind of overhang over the bottom, and he is or she, well, I'd say it appears masculine, drinking a espresso. And doesn't seem to look at you as you approach.
I'm trying to think. I don't know that Vincent would necessarily know Galactic Concord ranks and insignias, unless they would have had a lot to do with like helping police or be security for the guild.
Sure. I think you don't know what the rank of this person is, but you do know that they have a lot of bars on their coat. So it seems probably high.
Ooh, is it high enough that Vincent is actually intimidated and decides not to? And I'm trying to decide if whether that's Vincent doing that or if that's just my social anxiety being projected. Ooh. Yeah, no, Vincent will go up to them, approach from away so that they can see me coming and I don't just like appear at their shoulder from the booth or whatever. But, pardon me there. Just a brief moment of your time. I'll let you get back to your wonderful drink. Jeffrey's a good man, makes the best drinks. I was just curious if you could tell me a bit on why there is so much of a Concord presence here. We heard there was a big hullabaloo last night, and I'm sure you have everything under control, but I'm not nervous, if it's understandable.
And as you're talking, you notice that the person doesn't open their eyes, and they kind of slowly set down their espresso, and pick up their cigarette, and lean back in the chair. It's like, I mean, if you... Well, citizen, have a seat right here.
Are you sure you don't mind? I
Not
don't
at
mean
all.
to interrupt your break more than I've already done.
No. Please, My job is to take care of the people of the galaxy, so please, this is what I do.
That is mighty kind of you. I'm sorry, I don't know the ranks. Do I refer to you by your title? How should I refer to you? Just sir?
So it's fine, but my rank is, I am Commander Cashew.
Your rank is Commander Cashew, or your rank is Commander, and that is your name? I'm sorry. I would like to get things right and proper.
You're accurate. I'm sorry. I haven't had much sleep in a while. I've been on patrol for a while, but yes. But I am the commander. Is my rank. My name is Cashew. Cooper Cashew. Nice to meet you.
Just gonna let that sink in for everyone for a minute. Well, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Commander Cashew. My name is Vincent, and I'm just passing through, letting my ship refuel on some of that FTL juice, and seems like we arrived at a bit of an exciting time. Got flagged down by the Concorde ships as we arrived, and then, like I said before, that big hullabaloo last night.
I have not heard much of that. I've been out in deep space for the past 20 days at this point. It is sort of lose track of all sorts of things out there.
Sure. I've been on those trips myself. It's good to be back on, not quite terra firma because we're not actually planet side, but you know what I mean.
Certainly, I mean, any port in a storm.
Exactly. Man, those Wildspace storms. Anyway.
But rude of me. Would you like an espresso? Jeffrey, his espressos are not very good, but he tries, and he is... the enthusiasm is infectious.
That it is, but if they're of the quality that you say they are, then I think I might pass on this one.
Certainly, do as you do.
But so, you said you don't know about the hullabaloo, that's fine, but do you know, Jeffrey was telling me that this is a bit more of a Concorde presence than usual. Is there going to be any danger from me and my crew if we set out, or is everything A-okay?
Well, which direction are you headed? And let's just look at the sector in terms of maybe a compass. And so, what degree from here are you headed?
I think
and you can say one. Let's just say you're going at 150.
Yep.
Is it? Yeah, not that I'm aware of. I think most of it is at between 340 and I hit my microphone. Pardon me. Also between 340 and 20. I think you should be fine. But we're trying to just ascertain a situation. It's probably nothing. We just had few probes that have not reported in and have gone missing, and it's been something of a blackout, but I'm sure that it might just be communications errors, or perhaps the probes, the navigation systems have messed up or something. I wouldn't worry about it too much, but to be safe, this is part of protocol and making sure that the Concorde is keeping everybody was in our umbrella safe as can be.
Yep, sure. And as one of those people being kept safe in that umbrella, I am truly grateful. And you're doing great work, and I thank you for it. And in fact, I'd pull out a...
if you say dog treat, I will shoot you.
No. How much would the espresso probably cost?
Oh, a silver piece at most.
Okay, so yeah, just pull out a silver and just say, I got this espresso or your next one if you need it, and just put it on the table.
Yeah. Merci.
Durian. Well, that is good to hear that you've got things under control, and I'm sure my crew will be glad to know that we can set sail and have nothing to fear.
Oh, yes, I want them to worry about it.
Well, like I said, I didn't want to take up too much of your time, so I will let you get back to your break, and you have yourself a lovely rest of your day.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. And I get up and head back over, see if the rations are ready and whatever to get back to the ship.
Cool. All right. So everyone's back at the ship. End of the day in the 30th. Does everyone want to talk or long rest, or what's up?
I mean, I would let them know what I heard about there being a lot of Concord stuff, and that also my thinking of, maybe if they're still doing this and we swing back, maybe they need some contractor help, but otherwise we should go take care of these people on the planet.
I would go ahead and kind of fill everyone in on what we read about the cults, and that there might be some tie between the place that we're going and what we just experienced.
Did you say Gates?
Yeah, I'd mention everything, or I'd say everything.
That was Pace.
Oh, yes, I did mention. There was some mention of gates and tears and the planes between realities connected to this.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there a reason why you ask?
Yeah. But it is not important now.
I'm sure it'll be important soon.
Mm-hmm.
You sure you don't want to talk about it?
Pace kind of wrings her hands, which is not something she does often. Like, looking kind of uncertain. No, I think not right now.
All right.
Bolster reaches up and kind of takes her metal hand in his paw, and he's like, "It's all right. We can take it slow. Gonna be okay."
I give his little tiny hand a little baby squeeze.
Dead.
Okay.
Kidding,
so,
sorry.
is there anything that anyone wants to do on this station before you set off tomorrow?
What are we doing about this book?
I say we kill it.
I did some prayer on that this morning, and the signs that I got that I received were, if we tried to destroy it, it could go well, or it could be a beneficial result, but it could also go poorly. Or both. It's not very clear. I was thinking that this might be something, if we're planning on taking Gwen's friend to healing to people that are more specialized in that, if we were interested in going by the temple or heading in the direction of the temple, it's kind of out of the way after our job, we could take it to them as well.
I think that is a good idea.
Yeah, just make sure they don't touch it. Because, man, that thing hurts.
Oh, you touched it too?
I know, right? High five.
High five. Super
Take 86 of it.
You were saying, Gwen?
Dead.
I want to know what's in it.
As do I.
Same.
And I want to know if there are more people involved in this.
I agree. If we could, Vincent, if there's someplace we could store it on the ship securely.
Alright, I think there's lockers somewhere. I'm just wondering where it would be. most secure. As much as it gives me the heebie-jeebies, I almost feel like we need to keep it in one of our quarters, obviously wrapped up. And
I do not have many personal belongings, so I have a lot of free space.
Yeah, and you didn't get a souvenir this time either, so maybe that's perfect.
If everyone
And
is
I don't want
okay.
it in my room.
You feel comfortable with that?
It does not bother me.
Ryan, this would be a question for you. When I was analyzing the book, did I notice writing in it? Like, was there like a language written in it?
It would not open for you while you were
It
holding
wouldn't
it.
open. Okay, good to know.
The kind of leather was in one piece, bound around it. I think you weren't conscious for this, but I think Rosh and Vincent may have noticed that like these parts that were kind of grabbed at the binding kind of released a little bit. Seems that and maybe they told you about this, but yeah, it doesn't it's not opening for you, or it didn't open for you, and not that it couldn't necessarily, but it wasn't.
Neat. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all.
Okay. So that's it. Long rest.
All we
so-
got.
All right. Next morning, wake up, take your ship into faster than light travel, zipping through the stars. You travel for 4 days, 4 days of downtime. Did anyone want to do anything during that time?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
But
Yep.
when do we usually end?
Oh, okay. So it's a conversation. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Then we will pick up next time in the middle of light speed, or faster than light speed rather. Let's leave the let's say it's the first of the third month where we ended the session. That's when you took off in light speed. And then next session will be the 4 days of you traveling through. Sound good? Okay, anyway, thank you all so much for watching. We will pick this up and investigate a new planet. And yeah. Thank you also for joining. I hope you like the new art, the new overlays. We have a cool show on Wednesday, a cool show on Saturday, and then next week we have another cool show. Just check us out on Twitter. Check down there in the scheduling. If you're on Twitch, if you're on YouTube, subscribe, and then follow us on Twitch for all. And Twitter for all our news and stuff. So anyway, good night, good luck, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Y'all have a good one.
I'll see you on
Bye.
Wednesday.
Au revoir.
Bon nuit.